We finally have made it. The final broadcast of the year is here. Ladies and gentlemen, and then everyone else, how are you? Welcome to the final broadcast of 2025. For I'm so this week also I'm done with sports had his last show last night. So 990wb.com. We're off until January 7th. And as of after tonight, I'm off until January 7th with Falls Count Anywhere as well with the Rhode Island Broadcasting Network. Erik Dunn here from Bridgewater, Massachusetts. I hope everyone is doing well. Um, this is going to be a very interesting show for the last one this year. The the ending of the results of the predictions for Ron and I and the finishing record. Saturday night's main event will dissect the card with the results of our predictions and the final tally on the record and who won and who didn't. A couple surprises that happened on Raw Monday night, and then the 2025 FCA Awards. I got them all lined up for you. John Cena's career tribute and what he meant to me, just watching him as a fan, and my closing thoughts heading into next year. Well, the final tally can be because there is no more show until because there's no more live events until February. Yeah, there are no more live events until the Rumble. So this calendar year, that's it with all the shows. I don't count NXT. What do you mean? There is nothing else for WWE. That's it. Yeah, I know that's it. But the main takeaway for this is WWE is going into the home stretch. Yep, I was right. Yep, that's it. There is nothing else. The Royal Rumble is on Saturday, January 31st. Saturday's main event, Friday, January 23rd. So those are the next shows for WWE, and that will kick off 2026. So the final tally will be just momentarily. That is the itinerary for the plan tonight. Uh, so for the final time this year, this broadcast of Falls Count Anywhere, the final broadcast of this year of Falls Count Anywhere, is the exclusive property of Arizona Productions, Rodrigo, and Rhode Island Broadcasting for the use of our audience in any publication, reuse, or redistribution by anyone is not prohibited and is given the express consent to be shared everywhere and is greatly appreciated. All right. So let's just dive right into this first. So what I'm going to do is this. So the main takeaway for what happened on Raw Monday night is the masked person that attacked CM Punk inside of War Games and has been attacking some other people as well has finally been revealed. It was Austin Theory, of all people. Austin Theory. So for those stupid enough, very stupid enough, to think that that was Seth, let me remind you of something. He just had shoulder surgery. You really think he'd be willing to climb up there? Don't be stupid. I had a hunch that it was Austin Theory, but I didn't really think it was until the mask got taken off. But now that we know, let's see where that goes. Saturday night's main events. A lot of disappointment. So let's go in order here. Ron, the first match was Cody Rhodes versus the NXT champion Alba Femi. It ended in a no contest. So Ron, so what do we do with a no contest? Do we not count that? Do we just like discard it from the record? Because I don't think we've been in a situation that it was a no contest. Oh, we both lose? Okay, that's fair. All right. Okay, that's fine. So that means they were both 0-1. Okay, that's fair. And then uh, Sol Ruka versus Bailey. Did we both pick Bailey or did we both pick Ruka? We both picked Bailey. So we lost that one too. Okay, so right now we're 0-2. Um, World Tag Team Champions AJ Styles and Dragon Lee versus Javon Evans and the TNA X Division Champion Leon Slater. I think we both picked AJ and Dragon Lee, correct? Did we pick AJ and Dragon? I will say that it was a great match. That was probably the best match of the entire show, in my opinion. Um, if I had to recall, I don't think that we went against AJ and Dragon because those titles were on the line, so they would have to. So they did retain them. Do you know if we picked them? Because I think I did. I seem to have that verified real quick. Oh, you can't find it. Okay, because I swear to you that we did have that on the thing. Yeah, I swear we did. Yeah, because found it. All right. So now that you found it, what was the consensus? AJ. Okay, so you and I got that one. And then Ron, the shocker happened in the main event that we got wrong that I wish we did not get wrong. John Cena loses in the final match of his career to Gunther, tapped out to a sleeper while smiling. They can say all he want. He went out on his own terms. I don't think he had the full choice on that. He may have gone out on his own terms, but everybody is so pissed off in the WWE universe. They all are not going to believe that John picked this on his own. They're going to believe he was manipulated and coerced into doing this by Triple H. If you heard the hate he got on the post show, oh my God. I don't know what next year is going to be, but I think regarding Cena, they better rectify this and they better fix it somehow because that was ridiculous. Wrong. With that being said, um, pull up the final final numbers. So overall, what is the records after this final show? What's the overall record? Yeah, so we both went 1-3. So the overall record for this year in total. So last year, I believe, yep, last year Ron did get me pretty convincingly. I think Ron beat me by like 3. What is the record for this year? Because I think even at 1-3 with both, I think I got you. Yes, I did. 53-38. Ron went 51-40. So I beat Ron by 2 this year. It was a close battle, and I did come from behind a little bit during the second half of the year, but this year I got him. And for those that are hoping that we will continue this, yes, we will. This will be continued into 26 as well. So once we get those, the first two is Saturday Night's Main Event and the Royal Rumble. Those will be our first two of the new year. And we are looking forward to doing that, as I'm sure Ron is as well. But the ending of the match with John, um, if I could find that, it was a great tribute for WWE that was given to John Cena. My issue is The ending made no sense to me. AA after AA after AA, and Gunther still got the super on him, and I'm just like, and I was like, wait a minute. The guy that got squashed with 7 F5s by Brock in a 15-minute match goes 31 minutes against Gunther, and he loses it like that. There's no way. I'm going to tell you right now, mark my words, John Cena will headline the 2026 Hall of Fame before WrestleMania. And I know he said he'll never wrestle again because his body gave out, but the Hall of Fame will be the proper ending to his career. And I think that if it's rectified with him headlining the Hall of Fame in 26, I think that will put the loss to Gunther out of everybody's memory, because that will be the proper farewell for John Cena. And in my opinion, even though Saturday may have ended the farewell tour will end with him in the Hall of Fame. If that happens in late March 26, that's the ending of the farewell tour, in my opinion. The proper send off. So with that being said, let's now move on to the 2025 FCA Awards. So there isn't a 5-year wait period for WWE. So when Shawn Michaels retired at WrestleMania 26, when he lost to Undertaker, he was inducted into the Hall of Fame the following year. Edge, he retired after WrestleMania 27. He was inducted and he headlined it the following year. I think this is a situation where John Cena is going to be the one to headline it next year. So we'll see. So the 2025 FCA Awards. Let's dive right into it. And I have these in order for you here. So let's see what we have. So going in order, this is what I have. Going from top to bottom. The male superstar of the year. And now listen, I did not get anyone's help for this. I didn't take this off of an article, nothing. I created these on my own through research I've done throughout the entire year of WWE this year. And it's my awards. Okay. The male superstar of the year was John Cena. Beyond a doubt. And the reason why I say that is because if you look at the year he had, I think a lot of people would have booked John's retirement tour in a completely different fashion. I think that his retirement tour could have been done so much better. I could see why Ron would pick Cody, because I think he had a hell of a year too. I mean, the rivalry between him and John was tremendous. But I think that the year with John overall, the retirement tour, it should have been a lot better. And I actually think, just for shits and giggles, I wonder if I could. I found something where he got where the rating was horrible. The what was it? I think Bleacher Report, they graded it an F. And this was what it was. Yeah, listen to this. You're gonna laugh your ass off. Grading John Cena's 2025 retirement tour with WWE. WWE with this is what it was. Failed heel turn. The biggest problem was Cena's failed heel turn early in his retirement tour, and the lack of momentum it created for the rest of his run. The long-term storytelling associated with the turn was non-existent, as WWE creative failed to build shocking alliances, book another betrayal, or lay out a proper redemption arc. Another reason the heel turn failed was the abrupt abandonment of the angle and the reversion to the face version of his character, which the WWE Universe had long disliked, with a familiar tribe promo style coupled with challengers we've seen battle Cena before. The result was a retirement tour that lacked a unifying storyline thread. The Greatest Hits tour. In addition to the utter failure of the heel turn, the majority of the dream matches wrestling fans imagined didn't come to fruition at all. Randy Orton, R-Truth, AJ Styles, Brock Lesnar were all wrestlers who didn't need a Cena bump, even though the one with AJ Styles, I did like the one with AJ. Ron, I don't know how you feel about that, but I like the match with AJ. I think that probably was. I think him and Cody. That was the two. That was the two best matches of the of the retirement tour. But I think Cody was the best thing about the tour, in my opinion. Um, And basically, instead of building on Cena's legacy, ending on a high note, the odd pacing and disjointed storytelling made this feel like an underwhelming send-off. Even for wrestling fans who never liked him, the expectations were high for the memorable moments, but they were so far and few between. And then the expert opinions. Cena picks doing over 200 dates for the tour, something he said WWE shot down. The company went with far less, leaving segments feeling like thrown together and confusing. Cena's own father questioned it, saying it was a very poor move in my opinion because it was a big gamble for everyone that was involved, and to see it how it started, and then to see the characters who were involved no longer be present, the heel turn became non-essential. And then get this, Eric Bischoff questioned the heel turn as well. The heel turn attempt is like the end of the movie ending up being pretty good, but you got up, walked out mentally or emotionally during the first 15 minutes of the movie because it just didn't make any sense. And then grading the tour, Bischoff and many others enjoyed aspects of Cena's retirement. The heel turn doomed the tour's success as mishandled matchups and rivalries marred it throughout, adding a lack of cohesion between matches and the overall storyline. The fans were looking for a meaningful departure and were left disappointed. Instead of finishing on a high note with a legacy-defining finale, Cena's retirement tour was a series of wasted moments. It was an F. I never thought John should have turned heel because it didn't make any sense because Travis Scott and Rock, why the hell were they there in the first place? That made no sense whatsoever. I would have been even happier if Rock and Travis Scott attacked Cody and John after Elimination Chamber, and that set up a tag team match between those four. I would have been happier with that, or Rock would have found somebody else. You know what I mean? It didn't make sense for him to turn heel at all. Everyone was so happy when he no longer turned heel, when he turned back, but like it just didn't make any sense. It really didn't. And you know what? I think we could have gotten a lot more from John. Not performance overall, because I'll tell you, John did everything that he could have done. You know what I mean? John did everything that he could have done. But in my opinion, I think WWE could have done so much more and could have given John more dates and for him to have been present more in the company this year, knowing that this was his last year. You know what I mean? No Chris Jericho, no Edge, no Daniel Bryan. Like, three people that were a huge part of his career not there. Mark Henry. I mean, they all showed up at the very end. I mean, there were guys like Sami Zayn, Trish Stratus, E. Torres, Kevin Owens, who just had neck surgery, by the way. Elias, don't know why that was there. Mark Henry, Booker T. I don't remember seeing Rikishi at all, but I think I saw Haku, I think. But John deserved a much better send-off, in my opinion. The ending of that after the match, I enjoyed. Cody and Punk giving him the titles that he won and letting him right off with that and then a tribute video. But did you see what happened afterwards when he hugged Triple H? The anger from that crowd ripped on him so badly. They booed his ass so loud when he came out of that gorilla curtain, too. It was a damn shame with that. Now, moving on to the female superstar of the year, I picked Becky Lynch. Even with her heel turn, she did more for WWE in that women's division than probably anybody else. But from a talent perspective, Io Sky had a phenomenal year. Rhea Ripley had a phenomenal year. But I think Becky Lynch, in my opinion, gave the most. I mean, you put her with her husband, Seth Rollins. I mean, that's a 1-2 punch that everyone hated. And it was easy to hate them too, just because of the character and how it all played out like that. So Becky Lynch to me was the female superstar of the year. However, the unexpected moment of the year was John Cena turning heel. That was the unexpected moment that never should have happened, in my opinion. That heel turn was ridiculous because it made no sense, especially when Rock and Travis Scott were no longer there at all. You know, it made no sense. Uh, this one, this one may come to shock you. Breakout superstar of the year for me, it was Braun Breaker. Literally, it was Braun Breaker. The way he's come alive, the way he's come alive in the last year is setting up him and CM Punk on January 5th for the World Heavyweight Championship on the first Raw of the new year. That's going to be a very interesting battle. I have no idea how it's all going to go, but what I do know is let's see what Braun has got out of this because he's swimming in the deep end with no life preserver, you know. Um, but this one to me was a no-brainer. Comeback superstar of the year, CM Punk. If you guys have seen the hell he has gone through this year, winning the World Heavyweight Championship on night one of SummerSlam, Seth pulling an injury swerve. Don't forget, I was at SummerSlam for both nights. I was inside of MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford. Yeah, Ron, I went there because you kept on ripping on me for saying East Rutherford so many times wrong. The way Seth pulled that swerve on everybody, we believe he was out for 3-4 months. He came back in 6 weeks. Threw down the crutches, tossed the leg brace, and cashed in Money in the Bank. And then Braun and Bronson Reed take out Seth because he needed shoulder surgery. He gets the World Heavyweight title stripped from him. That led to Punk and Jay at Saturday Night's Main Event. Punk became World Heavyweight Champion. To me, comeback superstar of the year was Punk beyond a doubt. And he deserves to be champion right now. And that will now bring me to the loudest moments of the year. Because don't forget, I was also at SummerSlam. Because I told you this already. I was at SummerSlam for both nights. That happened night one. What happened on night two? So it's kind of like a toss-up, but I put two in there. Loudest moment of the year, Brock returned, AJ Lee returned. In my opinion, those were the two loudest moments of the year. For me, I think Brock was a little bit louder because I was at MetLife when it all went down. You should have heard that pop for Brock. Oh my God, was it deafening. See, this is why I also bring earplugs, not earbuds like these, earplugs, because I'm sensitive to certain type of higher level noise frequencies. It was deafening. But AJ Lee's return was tremendously loud, and I love AJ. Having her come back alongside her husband Punk was the right move. And it was great to finally get her back into. Gone for a decade and she comes back. Everyone wanted her back at some point. And it was great to have her back. And she's still back on a full-time contract now. However, Ron, tell me if you believe this one. The match of the year for me, and it arguably was the most important match and probably the best one on the retirement tour because I was present for it. It was the main event of SummerSlam. John versus Cody, undisputed WWE Championship in a street fights. That to me was the best match of that entire retirement tour and of the entire year, in my opinion. That match went for 35, 40 minutes straight. Everyone was on the edge of their seat. No one knew what was going to happen. They did everything. And we actually got to see John at his best as a full-fledged, loved face. No heel, nothing. He did everything by the book, everything right, everything fair, played by the rules, even though there was no rules in a street fight. He did everything right. It was one of the most emotional end of the match moments I've ever seen too. Cody crying as John passed the torch to him. And that officially made Cody the quarterback of WWE. And he's going to be for a long time still. He's still got a few more years left in him. He's going to be the quarterback until he passes the torch to somebody else. But John just made Cody the future of the industry and the future of the business and company. And he is. He still is. My only question is, if someone's going to dethrone him, who's it going to be? I guarantee it's not going to be until WrestleMania. Unfortunately, that was the last good Cena match. Yeah, I have to agree. Yeah, I have to agree. That's fair. That's fair. But it was just a great match to watch in person. That Cena entrance at SummerSlam was deafening, and I went back to hear it. Oh my god, one of the best reactions I've ever seen. Now, Ron, that will now bring me to the saddest moment of the year, and that was John's last match. There was not a dry eye from anybody the entire night because they all were preparing for John's last match, and that match was sad as well. I agree with Ron on that one too. The match was definitely sad because it just seemed like Gunther was more dominant than John from the way it was ran up, and it's just like, why is it like that? John is so much bigger than Gunther strength-wise and body size. Why is he getting squashed right now? It made no sense. John should have dominated this. Gunther, in my opinion, has already got a Hall of Fame career after 2 years. Longest reigning Intercontinental Champion in history. Two or three-time World Heavyweight Champion. Two-time. That guy's already building a Hall of Fame resume. You didn't need to get him over. It could have done a lot better. That was the saddest moment of the year. Ron, how do you feel about this? The happiest moment of the year for me was when John became a Grand Slam champion. He won the Intercontinental title at the Garden in Boston for his last time inside a TD as a performer. That was one of the loudest, happiest moments, I think, not just in Boston, but everybody around the world and around the country of the WWE Universe felt. Because we all were waiting for John to get that one title he needed to get in order for him to cement everything about him. Intercontinental Champion. Amazing. That was the happiest moment of not just the year, but of the retirement tour as well, in my opinion. But you know what? Here's the irony. I think the other happiest moment for me, too, was when he turned face. It was basically, it was when he turned face the night before SummerSlam. SmackDown in Newark, New Jersey. That was the happiest moment of the entire tour for me and of the year, on top of him winning the Intercontinental title. Because everybody hated the heel turn. Everyone hated the heel turn. And when he finally got back to being a face completely, everyone was like, why did he have to switch back to begin with anyway? He should have stayed a face. But everybody lost their mind when he turned back to face because he knew it. And he even admitted that the heel turn was wrong. He didn't want to do the heel turn. Excuse me. And the most disgusting moment of the year for me was John losing his final match. That was the most disgusting moment of the year for me. John should have never lost his final match. Ever. Should not have. No. It never should have happened. The way it was written up, the way it was created, was complete bullshit, in my opinion. And I think everyone else can agree with me too, especially Ron. That was the most disgusting moment of the year for me. Was seeing John smiling as he taps out to Gunther, and he wasn't even putting a hold on that tight either. Gunther's not that strong. I have no idea how Gunther could kick out of a super AA from the second rope and tap him out. That should have ended the match there. I was I was beside myself. I was beside myself. I was livid beyond belief. I really was. And that will now lead me to my favorite moment of the year. And believe it or not, my favorite moment of the year was CM Punk winning the World Heavyweight Championship. That was my happiest moment of the year. I know a lot of you thought I was going to go John, but I didn't. It was definitely CM Punk, beyond a doubt. CM Punk winning the World Heavyweight title was the happiest moment I had of this entire year of WWE in 2025. And the fact that he's still champion, let's see what he's got with it. And you know what? Give him a great run, and let's see what happens. So, guys, that is the FCA Awards for 2025. And now I'm going to give you my closing thoughts before I officially say goodbye to all of you. I want to say thank you once again for everyone for being a part of this ride with us. We've had to pivot on a lot of things. We've had to make some changes, but Ron and I 100% appreciate everything you guys have done to help us out this year. We are off. Well, I don't think we, but I'm off for the next 2 weeks. And my first show of the new year is Wednesday, January 7th. So 3 weeks from tonight. No, 3 weeks from last night. Sorry. 3 weeks from last night, I return back to RIB. But I I know I've given my closing thoughts about, Patriots or Bruins or Celtics, but tonight for my last one of the year, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to speak about something a little more personal. For those of you that don't know, um, back around early June, I was reached out by the head of the athletic department of Brown University to join their national anthem performing family this year. And I've already and I did four anthems over the course of 5 weeks from the beginning of November to about 2 weeks ago, roughly 2 weeks ago. On behalf of myself, Ron, and all of us at RIB, we want to extend our love and our prayers and our deepest thoughts and condolences to everyone that has been affected by the disgusting act of the mass shooting that happened at Brown last Saturday. And I'm not a political person. I will never speak politics ever because I don't believe in politics. I believe in right and wrong, and I believe that when someone's day is coming, it will come. This whole thing strikes a nerve with me because I was asked to join the Brown performing family, and then some sick son of a bitch comes in and tries to terrorize my family. And the irony is, a coworker of mine, her brother was actually in the building that the shots were fired in, and her brother was doing finals. He was trapped there on lockdown for hours and couldn't get out till early the next morning on Sunday. It's so hard to celebrate at times when you're thinking about so many people traumatized and are grieving and are hurting and can't even celebrate the holidays because of some sick, twisted human being trying to take that away from somebody else. All I know is that I do believe that this was a planned attack. This was not something that was done at random, and this was definitely planned out. Methodically sick, planned out. The only update I can give about this is from Boston 25 is that they have the identity of what could be the actual shooter. So maybe we're inching closer and closer to finally nailing this bastard and getting him off the road and off our streets. I was planned on doing the national anthem for the fifth time, doing men's basketball against Johnson and Wales on New Year's Eve. That game was scheduled to be at noon. I've gotten no feedback on that yet regarding if I'm going to be doing that game still or not. I was told by my athletic coordinator, Aiden, to just stay put and don't do anything until I hear back. The good news, at least for me, is that between January and February, I have 6 more anthems, 2 men's hockey, 2 women's hockey, and 2 women's basketball. I don't have the dates on me yet, but I will be getting them soon. Um, I just ask you guys, please pray for everyone at Brown right now, and please, for any of you that pay attention to this show and are watching from the Providence area, please, please be as cautious as you can, knowing that that guy is still walking the street right now. Please be careful. Like, I'm begging you to please be careful because I have family in the Providence area that live 10 minutes from Brown. And I still have a disgusted feeling in the pit of my stomach when I think about this. I've been holding tears back for days, literally on my knees, bawling tears back for days. Because you think about all these shootings that we've heard all around the country, you would never think you would be that close from home. I live 40 minutes from there. One of the most scariest feelings you will ever have if you're associated with him. All I can say is um, that that if the game on New Year's Eve does get rescheduled, I'm hoping it doesn't get X'd out and just taken off of it completely because I would still want to do it. And, it's not against an Ivy League school. This is Johnson and Wales, right down the road in Providence, too. I would love to do it to show a united front as someone that lived every other weekend in Providence from 2009 to 17 and went to school in Rhode Island for 4 more years at CCRI. Sorry. I'm trying to hold tears back right now. I just think there's strength in numbers, there's strength in unity, there's strength in love and in respect and in strength. I hope I still get to do that anthem because I want to show that, you know what, autism speaks. But very few times autism sings and autism fights back. All of the city of Providence needs to stand together, unitedly strong, and show that when someone tries to terrorize our city, you're not going to scare us from living our lives. We will fight back, and we will find the one that did this, hold them responsible, and take them out. I'm praying right now that Providence PD, Rhode Island State Police, that they find the piece of trash that did this and put him away for good. Because I've also been told that I cannot step on the property until that guy has been caught. And even though that was my decision, I'm going to make a strong assumption I'm not going back to Brown again until after New Year's Eve. I don't think I'm seeing them again until January. And I think it's a pretty strong assumption, but I think it's going to be fair enough to say at this point that, no one's allowed to be back on Brown right now unless you're on staff or you're working at home remotely because of what's going on right now. They've canceled the next 2 weeks of sporting events. New Year's Eve is in question. But please keep your thoughts and prayers with Brown, please. If there's one thing I will say, though, even though I'm not a political person, guns should have been banned from this country a long time ago when these school shootings started happening. In my opinion, the only ones that should be allowed to carry a firearm is police, military, and even the Patriots Minutemen on the field that carry a rifle that fire the rifle after a pass touchdown or a Patriots win or their intro. Those are the only ones that should be allowed to carry a firearm. Nobody else. That would prevent any more shootings from happening. it just angers me that this is like become a norm for us in this country, that we have to sit by and just keep watching this to happen while nothing's being done about this. This isn't about who has the right to carry a firearm. This is about lives being destroyed, lives being taken off this planet because of neglect, carelessness, and stupidity. I ask all of you to please keep the survivors, the ones injured, and everyone that is still recovering right now from this mass shooting. Please keep them in your thoughts and your prayers, and send Brown some love. They're an amazing university. They're an amazing school. They have a great reputation. And I really hope that we get some good news out of this. Just keep your thoughts and your prayers with them, please. And I want to take this opportunity to wish everybody a very happy new year, a very Merry Christmas. And thank you for being a part of our family here at Rhode Island Broadcasting. The best thing I can give you for 2020 regarding me is, I think, in my opinion, WWE has a lot of work to do. They're going to have to pick up the scraps after John's retirement tour being, in my opinion, a complete shame and waste of time. Because I really think that John Cena was done dirty, in my opinion. I guess come January 7th, we're going to find out what happens. And I do apologize if I got too political or too, real. I just want you all to know my heart goes out to the city of Providence right now that is in mourning and is hurting. Um, so with that being said, um, I'm going to officially now make this my goodbye to all of you. On behalf of the man behind the scenes, the creator of RIB Rodrigo, Erik Dunn, saying so long and thank you for the last time this year from my home in Bridgewater, Massachusetts. This has been the final presentation of 2025 of Falls Count Anywhere on the Rhode Island Broadcasting Network. I will see you guys in 3 weeks. Hopefully, I'll have some happier updates and some good news. Have a very Merry Christmas and a very, very safe Happy New Year. I'll see you all in 2026.